On the news tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari reiterates commitment to end Boko Haram insurgency. And in business, FG multilateral agencies to sign 3 transmission projects this November. And on the foreign scene, South Africa's Home Affairs Minister resigns. A very beautiful evening to you, and thank you for joining the Superscreen TV flagship news, reaching you live from our studio here in the commercial capital, Lagos State. I am Kiruka Ibe, and now the news in full. The federal government has reiterated its commitment to ending Boko Haram insurgency, saying it would ensure that the menace is completely eliminated. President Muhammadu Buhari disclosed this at the opening of the International Conference on Insurgency in Kano State. The president, who was represented by the Minister of Interior Abdurrahman Dambazo, said the government is determined to end the sufferings of victims of insurgency, especially in the northeast. According to him, the federal government will do everything possible to ensure the victims of the attacks return to their respective towns and villages to enable them to continue their lives normal. Away from that, due to its inability to form quorum today, the Senate has adjourned plenary till Tuesday, 20th November, leaving all the agenda on the Senate order paper unaddressed. The decision to adjourn followed an observation by Minority Whip Senator Philip Aduda, who noted that lawmakers present were not up to the 38, adding that the absence of most lawmakers is due to their oversight functions which they are currently engaged in. Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu, who seconded the motion, said less than 20 out of 109 senators are participating in the legislative proceedings, and the number is not enough to form a quorum.
I want to move that since we have not formed quorum, we may therefore adjourn. But in doing so, I want to also say that the Senate, why it is empty today, is because various committees are carrying out oversight duties. They are all over the nation, ensuring that the budget is performing and looking at the various agencies and parastatals that are under the various committees. And on that note, Mr. President, the Senate may wish to now extend the time for oversight functions, if the Senate so wish, with another week so that we can resume on Tuesday, the 20th November 2018, Mr. President, I so suggest.
We are more than 10, but certainly not up to 38. So we are somewhere between 10 and 20. So it's just for our record, we're not less than 10, but I think we are less than 20. So I second the motion.
Senate President Bukola Saraki put the decision to voice vote, and he was approved. He therefore extended plenary date to Tuesday, 20th, 2018.
I'm going to put the questions. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, before we finish for today's other paper, I think it's important that our members who are not here, we should please communicate to them, those on oversight, to ensure that they finish whatever they have during the week, so that we know that we have finished with the area of the oversight, which clearly has kept a lot of our members out of here. But I think, as we all know, some of the findings that is emanating from the oversight also is equally as important, and that it's important that that exercise is done diligently, and but we should try and ensure that we have that completed by the end of this week. So that is in line with Order 10.3 that clearly says that once we don't have a quorum, then we need to adjourn.
And the House of Representatives has adjourned its sitting over a faulty sound system. Speaker of the House, Yakubu Dogara, said the adjournment is necessary to create room for the sound system to be fixed. According to Dogara, the microphones were installed in 1999, and the panels would take 3 weeks to arrive in Nigeria from Germany. The sitting was then adjourned till Wednesday, November 14, 2018. He, however, said if the problem persists by Wednesday, the House will adjourn sitting indefinitely.
The public address system of the House has collapsed. And for those who will want to cash in on that, to portray the House somehow, they should note that this is a technology that was installed in 1999 and is obsolete. We had a destroyed some of the panels, and for us to get these panels, we have to order it from the manufacturers, the original manufacturers in Germany, and they have said that we can only take delivery of those panels that were burned on account of the power surge within 3 weeks. So as it is, we'll continue to improvise until we have taken delivery of those panels from the manufacturers. So we'll adjourn the House till tomorrow. If the problem persists, then we may have to, in consultation with some of the engineers that are working on the control room, we will take an appropriate decision by tomorrow when we reconvene. But hopefully we'll be able to make improvisation for our proceedings as from tomorrow. But if it doesn't work, then in consultation we'll determine when the next available date that the House can sit. So, Leader, could you please move that we'll adjourn the House till tomorrow, please?
Away from that, the Special Presidential Investigation Panel for Recovery of Public Property has released the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC in Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, whom it arrested over an allegation of failure to execute a contract of $12 million for the dredging of Calabar Channel. Chairman of the panel, Okeo Bonobola, who made this known to journalists, said the serving senator representing Imo West was released on humanitarian grounds on the condition that he would return to the panel for questioning. According to the panel's chairman, the contract was awarded by Nigeria Port Authority. And the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says the former Petroleum Minister Denzani Madueke is not being tried in the United Kingdom as being speculated. EFCC Chairman Ibrahim Magu, who made the clarification at a media briefing to mark his 3 years in office, said no corruption case has been pressed against the former minister in the UK and that Nigeria is desirous of extraditing her to face trial at home.
It was being investigated even before I assumed office. So it has taken so long. It's very unreasonable that she's not being tried there. So that we are tired of waiting. That's why I said, look, if you cannot prosecute her, bring her, we'll prosecute her. So there's no prosecution going on there. We are involved in the investigation in this country and outside this country, in America, in London. I've been there, all the places. We have worked together, we've sat down together. So I mean, we cannot wait endlessly like this. I think 3 years and above is sufficient for you to take her to court. There is no court process going against her. There is no prosecution. Nobody's prosecuting her there. So that's why I say let us initiate extradition initiative so that she can bring her, she'll face it. Rest of the law. Next week or so, the prosecutors from Italy will be here. We are working, collaborating very well with our colleagues in Italy and the other part of the world.
Members of the Anambra State House of Assembly have impeached their Speaker Rita Maduagu during today's plenary at the Assembly Chamber in Awka, the state capital. The former Speaker was impeached on the grounds of alleged incompetence, docility, financial impropriety, and high-handedness. The consequently elected Ikem Ozoezie as the new Speaker. The lawmakers took the decision after the new Speaker, Ozoezie, who represents Aguta 2 constituency, moved the motion for impeachment, while Onyebuchi Ofo from Egoesigo constituency seconded the motion. Meanwhile, the clerk of the House, Pius Udo, was against the inauguration of the new Speaker, citing that the lawmakers did not follow due process. And Chairman of Aguda Ikato Local Council Development Area, Obo Obobolanle Obe has appealed to women in Lagos State to come out en masse to vote in the forthcoming 2019 general elections. He made this known. The appeal on Monday in Lagos charged women to live up to the All Progressives Congress APC expectations of landslide victory at the polls. Superscreen's Mike Osemeke now gives us more in the report.
These are women willing to give their all in the forthcoming general elections in Nigeria, and this time they are throwing their weight behind the ruling All Progressives Congress APC. Speaking at the gathering, which brings to an end a 5-day sensitization exercise, leader of the women, who is also the chairman, Aguda Ikate Local Council Development Area, Omobolanle Obe, charged the women on delivering the expected results.
This is not a party affair. It is something that is done, it is encapsulated with all groups in this society called Lagos State, to make sure that to the grassroots level, everybody is included, everybody is informed. That is why you see various people from diverse, we see Hausa, we see Igbo, diversity in unity. That is what we want here, and that is what Lagos State stands for. We have Igbos here, we have South-South, Energy of the Nation, we have Arewa, we have Nopes, we have the Konikes, we have everybody in Lagos State, and they are all legal. And in every awareness that we do, every division that we have gone to, you will find them there ready, the professionals, they are ready to work with us so that everybody down to the grassroots will have their PVC.
Other party stalwarts appealed to the women to collect their permanent voters' cards PVC before the expiration date.
This is not campaign. The campaign has not started yet, but we are just going around just to sensitize our people on the importance of the collection of the PVCs, and particularly because the verification exercise is ongoing, so that people can go to their various registration centers and confirm their names on the register. We have really achieved, because we believe that even after this sensitization, our women will go to their various local governments and LCDs and then sensitize their people too on the importance of the collection of their PVCs.
We have to sensitize Nigerians, we have to sensitize electorate of their functions to collect PVC and to make sure to go around to their various polling booths to verify whether their names appears in the voters register. So in preparation for the election. Because if you don't do that, it will be very difficult for them to vote in the next election. So that's why we've been going around for the past a week now to sensitize all the electorates, to tell them that it is pertinent for them to go and pick up their cards and to go and verify those things, their names in their papers. And if there's any challenges, they should quickly go to the INEC office to inform them so they can correct it before that time.
Without the PVC, you cannot vote. So and we want to elect the person of our own. So before we can do that, we have to get that PVC to have access to vote. So that's why we are here to campaign to people that have not collected their own to collect their PVC, then to tell their neighbors to collect their PVC. So to enable them to vote in this coming election.
Election is just few months to go, and as such, every political party will be out to woo supporters, but the job can only be complete with the possession of PVC. Mike Osemeke reporting for Superscreen News.
Away from that, the House of Representatives Committee on Emergency and Disaster Preparedness has insisted that Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has some questions to respond to on the approval of 5.8 billion naira from the Consolidated Revenue Fund to the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Ali Issa, while briefing newsmen shortly after Tuesday's plenary, said Osinbajo was the acting president at the time when the fund was approved, adding that the committee did not mention the vice president in its report presented Thursday last week.
The letter from the Minister of Finance directing the central bank governor to release the same 5.8 billion. Number one, this money was released from Consolidated Revenue Fund from the Euro bond approved by the National Assembly. As the approval stated, it's not from me, it's from her, Minister of Finance. And it's clearly stated that this money should be paid directly to the said companies without signing any agreement with the companies, without giving them award letter, without any procurement process. Money was paid into their account. This is the, Mr. Chairman, I can hand over this document, and this is also an approval from the Vice President to the Minister for the release of the said money. And when the committee tried to find out more about what happened in the procurement, everybody tried to transfer blames.
The committee is investigating the allegations of violation of public trust in the activities of the emergency agency, stating that the authorization for the release of funds for emergency food intervention in the Northeast contravened Section 80 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. And meanwhile, former Minister of Aviation Femi Fani-Kayode has called on the National Assembly to impeach Vice President Yemi Osinbajo over the abuse of the Public Procurement Act in the approval of 5.8 million naira as intervention funds for the Northeast in 2017. The former minister in a tweet described Osinbajo as a cheap crook for giving illegal approval of NEMO funds, urging the DSS to arrest and prosecute the vice president for allegedly stealing and money laundering. The House of Representatives, in its investigative report, had indicted Osinbajo after its investigation into the fund disbursement. And coming up in business tonight, federal government's multilateral agencies to sign 3 transmission projects this November. There's more to come on the business scene just after the break. Welcome back, and if you have just joined us, you are watching Superscreen TV Flagship News. Now talking business, the federal government and multilateral donor agencies are set to sign off 3 key transmission projects worth $956 million this November. According to reports, the projects will be executed by the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) under its National Grid Expansion Plan. A document obtained at a meeting that was held by TCN with representatives of donor and multilateral agencies revealed that the projects up for final approval include the Nigerian Electricity Transmission Access Project, worth $486 million and financed by the World Bank, the Lagos-Ogun Transmission Project, funded by the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, with $200 million. And the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) and the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation (NDIC) say they are monitoring the investigation by law enforcement agencies against the directors and management of the defunct Skybank PLC. NDIC Chief Executive Umar Ibrahim, who made this known at the 2018 sensitization seminar in Abuja, said the move is to determine their culpability in the failure of the bank. The CBN had on September 22nd revoked the operating license of Skybank PLC. CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, while making the announcement at a press briefing in Lagos, said a bridge bank known as Polaris Bank has been created to assume the assets and liabilities of the defunct bank. And on to road construction, the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, says the federal government has awarded 206 billion naira contract for the main work on the second Niger Bridge. Fashola, who disclosed this to journalists in Abuja, said the contract is awarded to Julius Berger Construction Company. He also said the projects expected to be completed in 36 months will be funded under the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund, PIDF. According to him, funding the project under PIDF means work will no longer stop on account of lack of funding. Fashola further said the contract for the main work on the second Niger Bridge was awarded after the completion of the 4 phases of the project. And still ahead on the news tonight, South Africa's Home Affairs Minister resigns. There's more to come on the foreign scene just after the break. Stay with us.